This episode is for Friday, January 9th, 2015. Happy New Year. Welcome, Meteor fans. I'm your host, Josh Owens, along with my co-host, Rye Walker. Welcome, Rye.
Hey, hi.
Rusty. Oh, there goes the train. Can you hear it? Can you hear that?
I can hear the train, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So I'm in my fancy new digs here, and looks like Rye's in his fancy new digs, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, we're all moving. Everyone's moving.
Yep. All right. So this year, this is the first one of the year, we will be talking about ranked Meteor apps, Meteor plus Iconic, aka Meteoric. Why crappy developers are more productive. Matrello, which is now Libre board, and instant search with Meteor. So, and let's see, we don't have any sponsors. I've been busy / lazy, moving and working and all kinds of stuff, so no sponsors. Though, if you do want to...
What's your favorite tool that you've used this week? We can give a free spot to somebody.
Okay, well, tool this week.
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we re-implemented. Have you used a?
You there? I think I lost you. You there? Is it me? Is it you? Speed test. Let's see. I don't think it's me. I think it's Rye. I think we lost Rye. All right. Yeah. We'll see if he comes back. Text him. All right. So tools I've used this week. Goodness. I guess Google Analytics is always one of my favorites. I've got a blog post coming out about it later today, so they're always good. And then Compose.io, they're always a good one. Oh, are you back?
I'm back, yeah. So
Nice.
I have this problem with my new MacBook that it just drops Wi-Fi all the time. Have you heard of that?
I experienced it for a little bit, but I don't know. Like when I upgraded, it seemed better.
Yeah, well, we'll see if I can stay on.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there he goes again. Ryan Walker has joined the video call again. All right, so we'll keep rolling. So ranked Meteor apps. Let's talk about that for a second. So if you go to rank.meteor.com, Vinay Lacroix, I think that's how you say his name, Lacroixart. Maybe that's right. He's been putting out a lot of stuff. He found a way to scan and find Meteor apps on the internet, and wrote a little scanner that'll pull over all the packages that they have installed, and it links it up to Atmosphere and all kinds of good things. And he's pulling in their Meteor version and their Alexa rank and kind of showing you high traffic sites that are on the internet. So like pools.betfair.com is a pretty big one, but there's a lot of interesting ones in here. So I would say go on here and you can add your own app. It looks like he's using Polymer. Looks nice, or at least Material Design. And yeah, so I've added Crater in there. Let's see. Today I added games.classcraft.com in there. So a lot of good stuff. So check it out. Have you seen this, Rye? You're muted. Uh-oh, you're still muted. Maybe just switch to the laptop mic. First one of the year. Technical difficulties, folks. let's see. So if I type in crater, there we go. It pops up. Run a Meteor 101. Oops, need to patch that, it looks like. My Alexa rank is horrible, though. 88 packages in this sucker. It's crazy. And 3 collections. Oh, also, if you are connected and watching live, feel free to pop into the Q&A section and ask questions. I'll keep my eye there. We may take a few questions at the end. Oh, Rise dropped out again. Okay, we'll just we'll keep rolling. I'm sure he's played with it. So I'll go on with we usually alternate. So I'll go on with my stories here. Hopefully Ryan will pop back in. So Sasha wrote a great post, and if I say Sasha and you don't know who that is, why are you listening to this podcast? Just kidding. We love you, Sasha. So he wrote one: why crappy developers are more productive, and I don't know. It's interesting because he talks about dabbling in technology and learning things. There we go. Now I'm hearing Rye.
Yeah.
And so he talks about how his lack of technical knowledge kind of helps him just be okay with getting things done and shipping features. And I don't know. There's this interesting kind of take on, as he's learning to code better or working on Telescope more, he's wanting to refactor and make things I think more enjoyable, right? Like he wants his code to be more enjoyable to work with, but then when he gets done, it's like, oh, look what I did, and everyone's like, but you didn't ship any features. And it's interesting because I think this is, to me, he's explaining the journey to becoming more of a software craftsman. I don't know if that's the right term, but I think what this ultimately comes down to is the fact that you care about the stuff that you have to work with every day, and if things are hard to read or hard to follow, they're hard to work with. And when someone says, "Oh, hey, there's a bug in that code," like that's hard for you to update that and work with it because you're not sure even what it does, and so you want to make that code clear and easier to work with. And so I think it's a great article, and there's some interesting things in here. But to me, like, as you journey and become more experienced, you start to learn, like, you have to live with this code long term, and that it becomes important to write good code. It's not, we're not talking about playing Vim Golf here, right? We're talking about actually having to come back to this code in 4 months and remember what the hell you wrote and how you can fix it or debug it or do whatever you need to do. And so I kind of disagree with Sasha because I think the word productive is subjective. If you look at it purely from a feature shipping standpoint, maybe an inexperienced developer can ship a lot more. They'll write a lot more code and ship it, but at the same time, you're going to end up with this. You may end up with more bugs, right? So, what's your take on that, Ryan?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. I'm on my iPhone now, so.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that I agree with a lot of the stuff you said there. I think that it's basically the same question with testing. It's the exact same argument. Like, yeah, testing slows you down in the beginning, but then it allows you to maintain a better velocity later on.
Yeah.
If you never refactor any code, yes, you save some time in the beginning, but then go back to that project after looking at it, after taking 2 months off and try to figure out how to change anything, or hand it off to another developer, and the owner of that code will be pretty pissed off. So it's a question of technical debt. Bad developers create as much technical debt as they do production code. Like they're pretty efficient at producing both of those things, and so that's why I think again, yeah, it's a short-term benefit to being crappy, I suppose. But even then, I'll argue with you that good developers, I think there's a curve. Like you get where Sasha started, now where he is now, and then if he keeps going along the curve, he can get back to the point where like my rule is like if I'm writing a lot of code, I'm doing something wrong. Like search for a package, maybe do something else, make the features smaller. Like it's a smell to me if I'm writing more than 20 lines of code on something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with your statement there. I feel like you're saying I'm cold, so I'm going to burn my house down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like that's the technical debt that you're talking about. Like you can really punch it up and get a lot of features out, but later on, like you will pay for it at some point.
Yep. Or not, maybe not you, because maybe you're not the developer on that project anymore, but whoever inherits that project will pay.
Yeah, I feel like there's, to me, like being at Differential and creating, multiple apps within a year time span, I felt like there was a demarcation point where you could spend 8 to 12 weeks working on an app, and you could build something that everyone could test in staging or QA or whatever you call that environment, and everyone could feel confident in what you're releasing. But then, like every day you go past that without tests, it's going to become harder and harder for you to completely feel comfortable releasing an app even after you do QA, because there's just going to be stuff that you forget about.
Yeah, yeah. So, Sasha, we'll see you on the other side of the curve. Don't go down the left side. Come down the right with us.
Keep going on your journey. I promise. We'll applaud your refactor.
Yeah.
All right. So I skipped your story. If you want to jump in and do it real quick.
Okay, sure. Meteor and Ionic. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like once again, Nick Vintage surprised me. I find out about this stuff late, but he's like, "Oh, check out this blog post," and I realized he'd been working on this stuff for like 3 or 4 weeks, diligently in the background. But he's working to bring Ionic framework to Meteor without sans Angular. Yeah. So looks like, by the checklist, he's maybe 2/3 of the way done. He's obviously looking for help if anyone wants to help, but the end result is that you get I just love how there's all these different these new experiments on how to build apps in different ways. So I love Polymer still, absolutely, but I love this too. So I think it's great that we have another experiment for a way to build apps that look great with less effort. So,
yeah. So I've actually started to play with it this week. Because it's funny, like Nick sent me the article as well, and he was like, I saw your tweet about Ratchet, you shouldn't use Ratchet, use Ionic, and I'm like, come on, dude, you're kidding me. So I don't know, like I decided to start playing with it, and he's got a good blog post. I'd say go read that. He talks a lot about specifics of why you'd want to be a little more native feeling per platform, and that's really what it does. It's like Bootstrap, but if Bootstrap detected each environment and made your UI more specific, because the fonts and the buttons and the sizing and the placement, like everything is more iOS-like or Android-like, and it detects that platform and serves the right CSS up. So
yeah, and I had a conversation about this with somebody else, and at the end of the day, yeah, maybe Apple would feature your app if it looks Apple-ish more than if it looked Google-ish, but at the end of the day, who gets featured? Almost nobody ever. The odds are pretty slim. And that only what percentage of even the web development population or even app developer population could detect the difference between an Apple app and a Google app? It's a pretty small percentage of people, and so I think it's cool, but like Polymer for us, yeah, our apps on iOS look like they're Google apps, and only 1,000 people in the world even understand what I just said there.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
good stuff.
but yeah, it's definitely something. The thing I do like about it is once he's done with this, it should be very production ready. Like Ionix's been around for a while, so Polymer is still like way out on the edge. There's still bugs. We come up with bugs every day as we're working on it, which kind of sucks. But
well, yeah, I mean, there's still no polyfill for the Shadow DOM, right?
Well, I don't know. The Shadow DOM. I mean, it works in all the modern browsers, even some that haven't implemented Shadow DOM. So I'd say there is a polyfill for that.
Ah, interesting.
Unless I'm confused, but
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. All right, next we'll go to the next topic. But yeah, just check that out and help them out if you're interested in building beautiful apps.
Yeah, definitely. I'm playing with it. You should too.
Yeah.
All right, Trello / Libre board. So
oh gosh, I'm like I get it like back to back now.
Yeah.
All right, so who's the guy who made this? Do you remember the name? Is it Maxine?
Gosh. You would ask that. He's open sourced it. Which is really why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, but first of all, like a guy built a Trello clone with Meteor, and it's actually using the exact CSS. The actions of dragging and dropping look very similar. Well, actually, dragging and dropping that worked. Maybe I must be on a board here that I don't have access to change. That's what I'm thinking. I just dropped it on this public one. But yeah, so it's here's my test board. All right, yes, yeah. Even the little loading animation is ripped off from Trello. But yeah, the animations when you drag stuff around is just like Trello, and he's open sourced it. I'm really impressed. I mean, I think that's it's not easy to build an app that is a copy of an app that. I mean, how much money do you think they've spent building Trello? I know this isn't full featured, but it's pretty impressive that he was able to knock this out that fast.
Yeah, well, he's probably missing like the gold package stickers, right?
Good.
Those are important, right? I mean, come on, this isn't full featured. Just kidding. We all hated that and made fun of it, but no, I think number one, like to me, I love seeing this because there's 162 stars, there's 26 forks, like we need more open source examples in the community. I can only point to Triplet or Crater or Telescope so many times before it's like people are asking me like, are there good examples of code I can read? Like, this is an example of code that you can read. And I think as a developer starting out, like, it's good to browse through and look at other people's code. So it's a great way to learn, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's Maxime Condal, I guess is the way I would say it. He's a French guy.
Yeah, and Yasser.
Yeah. Is that photo on his profile him, or is that some famous person that I don't know?
I have no idea.
If you look at his GitHub profile, it's like anyway. I'm so curious. Anyway, so yeah, check it out, man. It's probably a really good example of a modern Meteor app too, because he literally just started working on this thing weeks ago, I believe, unless I'm wrong about that too. But it hasn't been going on for very long, so there's not going to be a lot of old cruft in there.
Yeah, definitely worth looking at.
And maybe it wasn't. It looks like the other guy might be the guy who started. As I go back through here, so yeah. Anyway.
All right, and then our last post here, hot off the presses. Again, if you have any questions you want us to answer, like we'll take 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the show, maybe answer a question, feel free to queue those up now. I see we have 5 viewers. Just use the Q&A portion there and we'll answer them. But the last story is implementing an instant search solution with Meteor. This was posted, I think, just today, January 9th. I haven't even had a chance to read through the entire thing. But it looks like basically a type ahead package, and you can back it up on the back end by anything that you want. So he's got, if you go into Bulletproof Meteor, he shows you how to do it with MongoDB or Elasticsearch and getting the results out that way. And someone even asked in the comments, like, can we do geospatial query? And he said in the back end you can get any kind of data, but in the client currently it only does text search. So.
Yeah. So did you click into the demo that he has of this?
Yeah, I'm clicking on it right now.
Instant search demo. Yeah, it's weird. I noticed, like, of course, the first thing I search for is for my own RIW blog package, and it doesn't show up. But like a fork of my package shows up, so that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, it must not have the entire atmosphere database in there, but it is like super snappy. So we've built. I mean, I know I've built some instant search stuff in the early days of Meteor, so it's beautiful now that you can just pull this right out of the box and it works. I think it's working out of the box with Mongo Search, but that's really all you need when you're MVP.
Yeah, and he's got. So I'm looking at here. He's got a demo app too. So the demo app that you talked about clicking on and playing with, which works really well. He's also got the code open sourced on GitHub.
Okay. Yeah.
So probably worth looking at. Yeah. So it looks like you just define a source, and he runs some code in here, and the code just runs like the package.find and returns. Actually, not even a cursor. He's returning the actual data. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not like it's not a Meteor collection, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
maybe he's serializing that somehow and sending it over the wire. Mm-hmm. Be curious to dig into this more.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. I think he just sent this out this morning.
Yeah.
So definitely something to check out. Anything new going on with you, Josh?
Besides just moved. That was a big thing. I got super fast internet. I think my internet connection is faster than my Wi-Fi can pump out.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got 100 meg internet, but like the 802.11n 2.4 gigahertz will only give us like 40 megs by default. So
where'd you get that internet access from?
Cincinnati Bell. We got the Phi Optics. So it's been pretty exciting.
Our new building has crappy internet for now. They're wiring it up. The building's getting fiber, but yeah. So I'll have to make sure I do my podcasting from a different place next time. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like I'm just working on. I want to get 8 Days of Meteor out this weekend if I can. I was talking to Mike Rissy and. Looks like I'm going to try to use Meteor Pad as the middle package. You can get access to my solution for the homework, so it'll be delivered as a Meteor Pad link. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
It's my big thing this weekend. How about you?
Oh, I'm just jamming on User Cycle every day. Yeah, we're working on a screencast, by the way. Actually, yeah, you know about this. We're gonna use Crater as the example app, so I haven't pulled that data into a database yet that you sent me. But
oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, we're basically trying to create. I mean, it's like to get User Cycle up on a Meteor app is literally just watch the screencast and copy and paste a few commands, and boom, it'll be there. We made a little package that makes it easy. So
nice.
Yeah, and we'll explain the value proposition better maybe in a future episode. But we're pretty excited. We've got some really cool features coming out in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
All right.
That's what I'm working on.
Real quick, Charles Watson wanted us to give a shout out to DominusGame.net.
Have you ever played that?
I haven't played it yet. I should play that.
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, you like it?
I play too many games. Yeah, I did like it. The only problem I had with it was like it's like real time. It's like a real time game. So which makes sense since it's Meteor. And I tend to not have enough contiguous time to play the game, so I wish I was like 20 years younger and could play.
Had 20 things less on your plate to do.
Yeah. So whenever I start playing Dominus, I end up just like fading away. I'm sure the rest of the competitors like that though. So.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So last thing here is. Patreon, I didn't mention that earlier. If you go to patreon.com/Meteor Club, I believe it is, we have a campaign set up there, and if you want to get in on the chat room. We've got a Slack chat room that you can get access to as a reward. We're also thinking about starting a new podcast soon, more of a roundtable style, longer format. We're getting closer to that goal. We're at 55 now, and that goal is 250. So keep it coming, guys. And shout out this week to David S. He's a new patron this week, so thank you. Always appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next week.
All right.